Good morning, Ajahn.
Good morning.
Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Let us pay respects to Ajahn by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We begin with the chanting. May we invite Ajahn to lead us in the chanting, please.
Okay, so as always, we start with the Buddha verse on loving kindness. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. Karaniyamattha kusalena yantang santang patang abhisameja sakko uchuja suhuchuja suvajoja samuthu anatimani santus sagoja suparoja appakicco ja sallahukavutti santin triyo ja nipako ja appakappo kule ananukitto naจะคุดทั้งสมาจเรกินจิเยนะวินโยปะเรอุปวะเทยยงสุขิโนวาเคมิโนโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตัตตาเยเกจิปานโพตัตถิตสาวาทาวราวาอนวเสสาทีขาวาเยมหันตาวามัชชิมารัสกาอนุกทุระทิฏฐาวาเยจะอทิฏฐาเยจะทุเรวสันติอวิทุเรภูตาวาสัมภเวสีวาสัพเพสัตตาภวันตุสุขิตัตตานปโรปรังนิโกเพทนันติมันเยทกัตถจินังกินจิปยาโตสนาปฏิฆสัญญานัญญมัญญัสสทุกขมิจฉยมาตายธานิยังปุตตังอายุสาเอกปุตตมนุรักเขเอวัมปิสัพพโพเตสุมาณสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังเมตัญจะสัพพโลกัสมิงมานะสัมภาวะเยอปริมาณังอุทธังอโทจติริยังอสัมภาทังอเวรังอสปัตตังทิฏฐัญจรังนิสินโนวาสยาโนวายาวตัสสวิคตมิทโธเอตังสติอทิฏฐิยพรัมมะเมตังวิหารังอิทธมาหุทิฏฐินจะอนุปคัมมสีลวาทัสสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยยเคทังนะหิชาตุคัปปะเสยยังปุณเรติติ Okay, now we do the translation. Now let us chant the Buddha verse on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harms upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart, choose one, cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. หันธรรมยังอุทิศนาทิธานคาทายโยพนามาเสอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอุปัชฌายาคุณุตตราอาจาริโยปการาจะมาตาปิตาจะยาตกาสุริโยจันทิมาราชาคุณวันตานราปิจาพรหมมาราจะอินทาจะโลกปาลาจะเทวตายะโมมิตามนุสาจะมัชฌัตตาเวริกาปิจาสัพเพสัตตาสุขีโหนตุปุญญานิปกตานิเมสุขันจะติวิทังเทนตุขิปังปาเปทโวมะตังอิมินาปุญญกรรมเมนะอิมินาอุทิเสนาจะขิปาหังสุลเพเจวตันหุปาทานาเชทนังเยสันตานิหินาธรรมายาวะนิพพานโตมะมังนัสสันตุสัพพทาเยวะยัตถชาโตภเวภเวอุชุจิตตังสติปัญญาสันเลโควิริยัมหินามาราลพันตุโนกาสังกาตุนจะวิริเยสุเมพุทธาธิปะวโรนาโทธัมโมนาโทวรุตตโมนาโทปัจเจกพุทโธจะสังโฆนาโทตโรมะมังเตโสตมานุภาเวนะมาโรกาสังลพันตุมา Now let us chant the verses of sharing and aspirations. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue, my mother, my father, and my relatives, the suns and the moon, and all virtuous leaders of the world, may the highest gods and evil forces, celestial beings, guardian spirits of the earth, and the Lord of death, may those who are friendly, indifferent, or hostile, may all beings receive the blessings of my life. May they soon attain the threefold bliss and realize the deathless. Through the goodness that arises from my practice, and through these acts of sharing, may all desires and attachments quickly cease, and all harmful states of mind, until I realize Nibbana in every kind of birth. May I have an upright mind, with mindfulness and wisdom, austerity and vigor. May the forces of delusion not take hold, nor weaken my resolve. The Buddha is my excellent refuge, unsurpassed is the protections of the Dhamma. The solitary Buddha is my noble guide. The Sangha is my supreme support. Through the supreme power of all this, may darkness and delusion be dispelled. หันธรรมยังเมตตาภรนังกโรมาเสอาหังสุขิโตโหมินิทุโคโหมิอเวโรโหมิอัพพยาปัชโชโหมิอานิโคโหมิสุขีอัตตานังปริหารามิสัพเพสัตตาสุขิตาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอเวราโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอัพพยาปัชชาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาอานิคาโหนตุสัพเพสัตตาสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุ สัพเพสัตตาสัพพทุกขาปมุญจันตุสัพเพสัตตาลัทธสัมปติโตมาวิคัญชันตุสัพเพสัตตากัมมัสสกากัมมทายาทากัมมโยนิกัมมพันธุกัมมปฏิสารนายังกัมมังกริสันติกัลยาณังวาปาปะกังวาตัสสะทายาทาภวิสันติ Now let us chant the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intentions, all beings are the owners of their actions and inherit its results. Their future is born from such actions, companion to such actions, and its results will be their home. All actions with intentions, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts, they will be the heirs. Okay, now we do the Mangala Sutta. เอวังเมสุตังเอกังสมยังภัคควาสาวัตถิยังวิหารติเจตวันเนอนาถปินทิกัสสะอาราเมอัตถโคอัญญตราเทวตาอภิกันตายรัตติยาอภิกันตวันนาเกวรกัปปังเชตวนังโอภาเสตวาเยนะภควาเตนุปสังกมิอุปสังกมิตวาภควันตังอภิวาเทตวาเอกมันตังอัตถาสิเอกมันตังทิตาโคสาเทวตาภควันตังทายะอัจฉภาสีพหูเทวามนุสสาจามังคลานิอจินตยงอากังขมานาโสธานังครูหิมังคารมุตตมังอเสวนาจะพาลานังปันทิตานันจะเสวนาปูชาจะปูชนียานังเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังปฏิรูปเทสวาโสจาปุพเพจักกตปุญญาตาอัตตสัมมาปณิทิจาเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังภาหุสัจจันจะสิปปัญจาวินโยจะสุสิกขิโตสุภาสิตาจะยาวาจาเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังมาตาปิตุอุปัฏฐานังพุทธทารัสสะสังฆโหอนาคุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังทานันจะธรรมจริยาจายาตทานันจะสังฆโหอนวัชชานิกัมมานิเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังอารติวิรติปาปามัชฌปานาจะสัญญโมอัปปมาโทจะธัมเมสุเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังคารโวจะนิวาโตจาสันตุทิจักตัญยุตากาเลนะธัมมัสสวนังเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังขันติจะโสวจัสสตาสมนานันจะทัสสนังกาเลนะธัมมสากัจฉาเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังตโปจะพรหมจริยัญจาอริยสัจจานัทัสสนังนิพพานสัจฉิกิริยาจาเอตัมมังคารมุตตมังโพ พุทธัสสโลกธัมเมหิจิตตังยัสสานกัมปติอโศกังวิรชังเขมังเอตัมมังกรมุตตมังเอตาทิสานิกัตตวานาสัพพัทธมัปปราชิตาสัพพัทธโสทิงคัจฉันติตันเตสังมังคลมุตตมันติ Okay, so we do the translation. The highest blessings. Thus have I heard that the blessed one was staying at Savatthi, residing at the Jeta Grove in another Pintigas park. Then in the darks of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all Jeta Grove. She bowed down low before the blessed one. Then standing to one side, she said, "These ones are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? Avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, and honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. Living in presence of suitable kinds, with the fruits of past good deeds, and guided by the rightful way. These are the highest blessings, accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with disciplines highly trained, and speech that is true and presence to hear. These are the highest blessings, providing for mother and father support, and cherishing family, and ways of work that harm no being. These are the highest blessings, generosities and a righteous life, offerings held to relatives and kin, and acting in ways that leave no blame. These are the highest blessings, steadfast in restraints and shunning evil ways, avoiding intoxicants that dull the mind, and heedfulness in all things that arise. These are the highest blessings, respectfulness and beings of humble ways, contentment and gratitude, and hearing the Dhamma frequently taught. These are the highest blessings, patience and willingness to accept one's faults, seeing venerated seekers of the truth, and sharing often the words of Dhamma. These are the highest blessings, ardent committed to the holy life, sings for oneself the noble truths and the realizations of Nibbana. These are the highest blessings, although in contact with the world, unshaken the mind remains, beyond all sorrow, spotless, secure. These are the highest blessings. They who live by following this path know victories wherever they go, and every place for them is safe. These are the highest blessings. Okay, so now we do the Parita, the Ratana Parita, the verses for protections, especially for people with many pandemics. The COVID is one of the sutta that the Buddha chant for Vaisali to expel all this illness and restoring peace and prosperity to Vaisali. So we will do this Ratana Sutta. We'll do the Pali first and then we will translate later. Yang kin jivit ตังอิทวาหุรังวาสักเคสุวายังรัตนังปณิตังนาโนสมังอัตถิตถาคเตนะอิทัมปิพุทเทรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุขยังวิราคังอมตังปณิตังยทัชฌคาสักยมุนีสมาหิโตนะเตนะธัมเมนะสมัตถิกินจิอิธัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุยัมพุทธเศธโธปริวานนะยิสุจิงสมาธิมานันตริกัญญมาหุสมาธินาเตนะสโมนะวิชติอิธัมปิธัมเมรัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุเยปุคคลาอัตตสตังปสัทธาจัตตาริเอตานิยุคานิโหนติเตทักขินัยยะสุขตัสสะสาวกะเอเตสุทินนานิมหัพพลานิอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุเยสุปยุตตามนัสสาทาละเหนานิกามิโนโคตมัสสาสนัมหิเตปัตติปัตตาอมตังวิไคหลัตถามุทานิพุติงพุญชมานาอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุขีนังปุรานะนวังนัตถิสัมภวังวิรัตจิตตายติเกภวัสมิงเตขีนาพีชาอวิรุณหิชันทานิพันติธีรายทายัมปทิโปอิธัมปิสังเครัตนังปณิตังเอเตนะสัจเจนะสุวัตถิโหตุ Okay, we do the translation. The 6 protective verses from the discourse on treasures. Whatever wealth in this world or the next, whatever exquisite treasures in the heavens, is not for us equal to the Tathagata. These two is an exquisite treasures in the Buddha. By these truths may there be well-beings. The exquisite, deathless, these passions, endings discovered by the Sakayan sage while in concentrations. There is nothing equal to that Dhamma. These two is an exquisite treasures in the Dhamma. By these truths may there be well-beings. What the excellent awakening ones extol as pure and calls the concentrations of unmediated knowings. No equal to that concentrations can be found. These two is an exquisite treasures in the Dhamma. By this truth, may there be well-beings. The 8 persons, the 4 pairs, praised by those at peace, they disciples of the one well gone, deserves offerings. What is given to them bear great fruit. These two is an requisite treasures in the Sangha. By these truths may there be well-beings. Those who devoted firm mind apply themselves to Gautama's message and attaining their goals, plunge into the deathless, freely enjoying the unbinding they have gained. These two is an exquisite treasures in the Sangha. By these truths may there be well-beings. Ended the old, there is no new taking birth. These passions their minds toward further becomings. They with no seed, no desire for growth, enlightened, go out like this flame. These two is an exquisite treasures in the Sangha. By this truth, may they be well-beings. Sadhu, sadhu.
We now request for the 3 refuge, 5 and 8 precepts together We begin by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama dutiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama tatiyampi mayang bante ti saranena saha atta pancha silani yachama
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
ทังสรณังคัจฉามิ
บุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
สังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
สังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ดุติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิ
ติสรณคมนังนิทิตัง
อามาบันเต
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาทิปาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อาเมสุมิชาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัจจปมาดัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
This is for the 8th preceptor พระพรหมจริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อัปรัมมจาริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาลโภชนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
วิคามโภจนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
รัจจกิตวัทิตวิสุขทัสสนามาลาคันทะวิเลปนะดารณะมันดนะวิปูสนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
นัจจากิตาวะหิตาวิสุขาดัสสนะมาลากันดาวิเลปนะดารณะมันดาวิปุสนาทานาเว เวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
จาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อุจจาสยนะมหาสยนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจอัฏฐสิกขาปทานิสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิอัตถาสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถาสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิอิมานิอัตถาสิกขาปดานิสมาธิยามิ
สีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปทาสีเลนะนิพพุติยันติตัสมาสีลังวิโสทะเย
สาธุสาธุสาธุ Let's pay respect again. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We now formally request for the Dhamma Talk.
Brahma Jaloka Thi Bhakti Sahang Bhakti Các Tan Jali An Thik Wak Rang Aya Jakha Santi Thak Sakta Pak Rak Jak Khak Jaktika Thế Se Thủ Thang Mang Anu Kang Big Mang Pak Chang
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังธัมมังสังฆังนะมะสามิ Okay, so this is Friday again, Dhamma Savana, or one pra. Dhamma Savana means listening. So this is the day that we gathering together to listening to the Dhamma reflections and also confirming our resolution toward committed toward the Sila, the training precept. So today I add some extra chanting called the Ratana Sutta, which is one of they call the Parita. Parita is the Pali word. It means protections. So this is the sutta that is basically has some history background. This is the time of the Vaisali, which is the kingdom near Makata. This was probably one of the first kingdom that is having this called republics, the Lichavi, or the group of ruling class come together to rule this kingdom, and it is a time of the famines and pandemics. There's a lot of people dying in Vaisali. And it's very interesting that I think the Buddha history is intertwined with this kingdom a lot. Actually, probably the kingdom where the Buddha is the one who go there in the beginning to revive the city, almost to save it from the calamity. So during the early days, the Buddha started his teaching in Makata, and he set up the first monastery in the Makata kingdoms. And then this is nearby Makata, the Vaisali, and this pandemic comes and many people die from that. So they sent the missionary to ask for the Buddha to spend the Vasa in Vaisali. So they basically come and then ask the Buddha, but the Buddha said that he already accepted the invitation from the king of Magadha. So you have to ask the king first. So they go and then ask permission from the king, and the king said, yeah, if the Buddha agree, then I have no problems. So the Buddha decided, okay, he will eat vasa rather than spend the vasa in Magadha. He will visit Vaisali. So the people are very excited because the Buddha will come and will help with this pandemics and this. There's a lot of death in Vaisali. So the story goes that they basically send almost like the army and then preparing the ground from where the Buddha say, and it have to cross the river. And the king from Vaisali go down all the way to receive the Buddha, receive him from the boat and take him to the city of Vaisali. So upon entering the Vaisali, there's a big rain coming and flush all those dead body away and basically clean up, almost like sanitize the city before the Buddha go and the Buddha basically chant this particular sutta called Ratana Sutta, and Ananda bring the holy water, and the Buddha tell Ananda to use this water to sprinkle around the wall of the city to chase all those basically the ghosts and all those anything that is bad fortunes away, and do that. They do that. They completely chanting the sutta back and forth, and of course all those things are gone, and the Vaisali are back to life again with this chanting. So this is something special about this, and this has become the traditions that when monks go to do the chantings in the house, actually there's so many sutta when we do the house raising, but 3 main sutta that we have to do regardless of any other sutta is we call it like the major 3. The first one is Mangala Sutta, that we just chant, and the Karaniya Metta Sutta, as we also just chant, and then the last one is Ratana Sutta. So this is almost like a must that we go for the chanting. But the Mangala Sutta is like the checklist of what you can do basically to have a blessing. The Karaniya Metta is basically the protection for metta, and to start anything you start with the metta, and the Ratana Sutta is basically the real protection one. Basically, you can look at the meanings, but the one that we chant is a short version. We chant only 6 verses, and the full version has 12. To be short, we kind of take the middle part out. So we just end up with the beginning part, and the last is kind of the last verse is add on, and we cut 6 of those out to make it shorter. So this is basically the meaning of the sutta is the word Ratana is mean treasure. It means jewels or gems or anything that is considered precious in that time, and they compare like to have this we call the triple gems, Ratana Trai means 3, the 3 triple gems, Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. So this is the real refuge, or the real gems, the real precious things. So of all the things what we consider precious in the world is not comparable to this Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And the sutta will tell you why the Buddha is the highest. And so he has such and such quality that worth is a very very precious, and the Dhamma, you can look at the first, the second one, the third one. The first one is about the Buddha. The second and third is a Dhamma. The second one is a Nibbana. Nibbana is a highest is a highest form of Dhamma, because it's where there's no suffering and no defilement there. It's free from sufferings. And the third word is about the Magga, the path toward the Nibbana. We call it the concentration that have the fruit right away. Yeah. So normally, any kind of karma that we do, it takes time before the results of that will come. Like say if you do some wholesome karma, you do some generosity, you're offering some food to the needy or to the monks. The result is not there right away. It takes time. For example, with this karma, with this action, then say when you die, when you're about to die, then this act of generosity pop up in your mind. Then with that as a cause and condition, you'll be taking the rebirth in the next realms, which will be the good destination. Either will be the human again or become the God or heavens, born in heaven. So this is, you can see there's a gap between your action and the result. Even the meditation, say if you set meditation and you get into jhana, the result of that jhana, if it's not declined, if you can maintain that jhana through the rest of your life, then when you die, that nimitta will come up and it will take you to the Brahma world. This is again, you still have the gap between your action, which is the jhana, and the result, which is to be born in the Brahma world. But the Magga is very special in the way that this action have the result right away, the next moment. That's why in this Ratana Sutta is the Buddha used a very special word. Just mean that the concentration in this case is the Magga concentration. The concentration that is in the Magga preceding the fruit right away. So basically, it's no gap between your action and your result. So your path, Magga, followed by the fruit or the phala right away. And it's take the Nibbana as an object. So that's why this is very special. This is called the Dhamma. The second word is about Nibbana. But Nibbana is, how can you know that there's Nibbana exists? You need the Magga to take the Nibbana as an object. So the Magga will basically cut all the defilements and take the Nibbana as an object. And right away follow the Magga will be the phala, which is the fruit. The fruit also take the Nibbana as an object. And then this is the time what we call enlightened. And then of course later on, if you are become the noble one, then you can take the Nibbana as an object as you wish. It's called phala samapatti. That most of the noble one, when he go to meditation, he will take the Nibbana as an object. So that's why it's so very precious, because it's with you. And if you can take the Nibbana as an object anytime, it's almost like the best thing that you can have, because it's inside you, and you just bend your mind towards the phala and the fruit of your practice. So that's why this is so precious. And then in the verses go to the Sangha, the Sangha, which is we already chant that in the chanting books. Normally the 8 person and the 4 pair. This is the great field of marriage. And then somehow we cut the middle 6 of those verses, which is the thing that we cut out is actually it's pretty nice. I don't know why we not chanting the whole thing, but it's a quality of the stream enterer. the thing that we don't chant. It's just telling you that what is a stream enterer is comparing to like the city pillar. It's in the middle of the city. In the old day, the city have to have a basically main very strong pillar to protect any enemy coming to the city. So the stream enterer is like that. It's like an unshakable faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, because they become Sangha, and they become noble themselves, and they see the Nibbana for themselves. So almost like they internalize the triple gem into themselves. They transform into triple gems. Before we take a triple gem as a refuge, it's still external, because we are not noble. We born ignorance, but we have a faith in the law of karma, and we have a faith that the human beings, which is the Buddha, can understand it, and he can communicate his understanding to one of us, and we can also follow his practice. We can also one day become the normal one. So that is the meaning of the triple gems refuge. That means we are just taking a faith with the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. But when we practice, then we become one. When we become the stream enterer, we become the Sangha. So this is the quality of the Sangha, which is unshakable faith in the triple gems, and because he see the Nibbana by himself. And then there's some verses about the thing that what is the quality of the stream enterer. Basically, he understands the Four Noble Truth, and it's unshakable. Nobody can make it move because he experiences by himself. And there's certain other thing that he will not do, like he will not take the birth after the 8th. The 7th birth will be the maximum. He will no longer go on more than 7 lives if you take a reborn. So it will be impossible for him to take the 8th birth. The 7 is the maximum, and during that he will only will not be born in the hell or the animals or this 4 bad destination. He will only either be born as a human or in heaven for the next 7 lives. And then he will be impeccable in precept. For the stream enterer, the 5 precepts they will be impossible for him to break, because he understands that this is the path toward liberation. And there are certain things that is like a grave offense that he will not do, like killing the parents and all those things. That is a terrible thing, or split the Sangha, or hurt the Buddha, or kill the Arahant. These called like that things, and the condition that is unsuitable for the stream enterer to do. And then, even though he might still be heedless sometimes, so he might not be mindful all the time, he will not conceal anything that wrongdoing. Basically, he will expose his own offense, because he wants to purify himself. And so the only way to purify himself is to discuss it with your friends in the holy life, and basically, hopefully that his friend will help you. How can you get out of that offense? So this is one of the quality of the stream enterer, but he will not conceal any offense and try his best to do it again to purify his sila. And so he will not be reborn in any bad destination, and he will the sanyoshana, the bond that is bind to him. The first 3 one is the sakaya titti, the self view. He will be abolishing the self view, the doubt, vichikicha, and Silapata Paramasa, the attachment to rite and rituals. This is the three binding that tie beings in the world. So the stream enterer is able to cut these first three of this Sangyoshana. There's 10 of those. So this is quite the big strand that bind us to the samsara. So in many ways, the stream enterer able to cut the first three of this tie. So he understands that actually there's no self. It's just 5 khandha arising and passing away, and he have no doubt whatsoever about the teaching. This is true. This is the only way to lead to the end, and he because he already seen the nibbana, so he will not be deluded in any rite and ritual that only this kind of maybe some practice that will bring you to the nibbana, because he understands how it's works. So this is the quality of the stream enterer that we not chanting in this chanting. You can find it in the complete Ratana Sutta. So we jump to the last one, which is the quality of the arahant, the one which is distinguished like the flame going away. So if you notice, when the monks do the chanting, sometimes with the holy water, and the monk will have the candle, and with this word of the arahant is like the flame. When he entering nibbana, it's like the flame going extinguish the flame, and the monk will put the candle in the holy water. So if you observe very well, the monks, when he do the house blessing, he will start to light the candle with the Mangala Sutta, and he will put the candle down with this verse Kinang Pulanang, which is meaning the extinguish of the flame. So this is the meaning of this. So it's like the arahant, the monks who basically fully enlightened, will no longer take any rebirth. It's like the flame that is extinct. It's just suffering arising and passing away, and because he understands it all, so he get disenchanted. He doesn't, and he have enough power of Makka to cut all the time, and he learned that thing all that needs to be learned. He abandoned things that needs to be abandoned. He realized that nibbana, nothing else for him to do. It's all finished. He finished his job. So he's like the fire that go out. So this is the meaning of the Ratana Sutta in kind of briefly. So we take that as a truth. We call Satchikiriya. If this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if this is true, then may well-being. So first of all, the quality of the triple gem have to be true, otherwise this will not work. Second, you have to believe in that for it to be work. And then with that coming together, I already tell you the component of the lay people. You have to have a faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. You have a faith in the chanting, and you not commit any grave offense that prevent you from basically getting this result. And the monk, from the monk part of it, the monk have to do it in the loving kindness, not wanting any thing in return, of compassion, of metta, and chant it correctly, understand the meaning of the verse they chant, so that when it come together, and the power of this truth, that the triple gem had this quality indeed, then may all well-beings be restored in this city. So this work, for some reason, I think it's many in the story. It's maybe by doing that combination of this event that is happening before in the past, and bring that into recorrections, and by the power of that, this is what we do. So when there are certain kind of things that is like pandemics and inauspicious thing that happening in the society, in the community, so it's one way to help with to be coming together is also a very important component that we should have some common goal, because some community they start to arguing and pointing finger who is to blame, and then it doesn't help the situation. So whatever past is past. Now it's time for us to learn from our mistake and to basically unite against this pandemics. So this is the thing that we do, especially this time of COVID. So I know many places are getting very terrible now. Like I heard that in India is within hundreds of thousands cases every day, and 1,000 and 10,000 of people die. So it's just very thing that we have to be aware of. Some pandemics, and in Thailand also this time is because of the Songkran festival, people traveling a lot, and somehow they bring that to the whole country now. So we have to be very careful about what we do. So one thing that we do is to do some chanting, as to at least dealing with our mind, not getting panics or anything, and take the power by the power of the triple gem, and we do our best, try to follow the measure of the health department. Stay away, wearing masks, and if you can get a vaccine, then that will be best. Try to get the immunized and herd communities. But at the same time, if you at home, you deal with your mind, your body. Maybe it's a good time for set your priority before we just we can forget about it and thinking that life will go on and everything will do the same. But life is always uncertain. Somehow we can protect during certain period. We almost forget about it. One day we're gonna die. In the old day, this is very common that with the pandemic like that, and we don't have any technology to know what's going on. So then the life is very uncertain. You can basically healthy one day and the next day can just go like that. So it's very important to bring that of this death recollection, that any day that can be us. So with that recollection, then it's a sense of urgency. When we recollect death, it's very important to maintain the quality of first. You're not getting panic or depressed, nothing like that. You do it in the wrong way. The correct way of contemplation death is that it's not only you, it's the whole beings, and actually it's a final destination of everybody that's born in the world. Sooner or later we gonna die. Actually it's not die in the sense of it's just completely gone, because of our karma we will go on, whatever the next destination is. So it's good to reflect on that, that we are the inherit our karma. Whatever we do will basically bring us to the destination. So it's roused the urgency of what is our priority. Are we crossing to that goal? Are we using the resource that we have, the fortunate that we have to have a chance of being born as human beings, has a chance to hearing the true Dhamma, which is not easy, and has a chance to bring that into practice to somehow move toward the goal of completely freeing from suffering. So this is kind of the time for us to read that. And also, this also feel as connection to everybody in the world. You can see that it's very clear that when we have this pandemic, I mean, in many ways it have a sense of friendliness. We all facing it together, and the fact that somebody get infected, actually it works for everybody in the whole humankind. And the fact that many people get infected and the virus got mutated, even getting worse, getting more difficult, and it's not only for that particular person but the whole humanity. So this is, you can see that that is a connection of how we are closer than we think, and we facing the same, always sickness and death, and it doesn't help just try to thinking about yourself or even your own country, because if you not care about what happened to the rest of the world, then sooner or later that mutated strain will come back, and then whatever vaccine that you have, it might not be effective in your, even in your country. So this is the time to see whether we can distribute the vaccination to all the world, and that they can receive the injection and together. So this is like we have to do it together. So you can see how it's very come up with very clear things. People get infected here, and then people get overwhelmed to the hospital, and people die. I think in many ways the kilesa is like that, but we never have those marker to identify. Like the way maybe the greed, hatred, or delusion kind of spreading. We might see some kind of fake news. It's just spreading from here to there. But the same as the greed and hatred as well. I think the greed can pop up somewhere, and it's like the infectious. It just go and then infect people around. Maybe that what happened with the advertisement. People get greedy toward the new products, or the hatred people about when you have some community coming together to hate other group, and have a war and things like that, and fake news spreading. In many ways, the kilesa, the defilement, are working in that way, and you can see how infectious it is, just jumping from one to the other. And the first thing to do is to isolate yourself from that. I think it's you can see the importance of having the retreat. I mean, at least you're not getting infected by those kilesa, greed and delusion, by basically just at least you take care of yourself first, because it's difficult to deal with other. The best people you can have the control over is your own body, and the fact that you help yourself also help community as well, right? I mean, the same like the thing about the social isolation and things like that. So the way to help the community is to help yourself, to protect yourself from infection. If you're not getting infected, then you're not transmit to other people. So it's the same way as a kilesa, same as a virus. So you basically you are protecting yourself first. So you provide an environment where it's not so overwhelmed with this kilesa. Maybe you have to stay away from any information that will kind of poisoning your mind, and also turn towards some kind of group that is supportive of your spiritual development and regain the power. So only when you have a strength, then you can go out and help others. Otherwise, you will be basically either you bring the kilesa to infect other people, or you not help the situation. So the first person you take care of is yourself, and then that in itself is also helping the group. But if you ever better than that, you have a strength and you can go out and then helping others. That is the best. But maybe not everybody can do that. But at least you take care of your own self. So this is the very, I think the idea of Buddhism is to don't forget about yourself first, because this is the thing that you have the influence over by controlling, make sure that this negative emotion, this poison are not seeping in, and then you can become have a strength enough and to go and help. Okay, so if you can use this time, even the isolation well, then that's a good time for us to study and practice. Many chanting that you can learn during this period. Memorize it. I think is good. When you memorize and you learn the meaning of it, it just so meaningful, and you can reflect upon, and it can be your treasure. Like when you get old, maybe you go to the hospital, you don't, you can't do anything much. Maybe you have on the respirator, but if you can recall some chanting, it's very helpful and can calm you down. I know many people like who got some illness. She got some stroke and go to the hospital, and she come out and then she got recovered from her stroke. Actually, very interesting. The first memory that she have is not about anything at all. It's just about the chanting. She can still recall the chanting. She might not know who the relatives are, just sitting there waiting for her, but she still, the first thing that come out, because she do that every day. Every day before she go to sleep, every morning she do the chanting. I think that is a very good indicator of, when you come down to it, when you don't have anything as a refuge, what is your mind turn toward? So when if your mind turn toward the teaching, turn toward the recollection of the Dhamma, then it's a very good chance that even you die, you go to the good destination. So unless you memorize it, then what else how can you reflect upon the meaning of it? So it's good to almost like practice. Okay, say if you you get a real COVID, and then there's no hospital available now, it's all packed up, full up, and you have to stay in your house and suffering this, and how can you deal with that? Like preparing the possibility of facing the death by yourself. What is your take as your refuge? So the triple gem is a very good thing to recall and bring that to your mind of this quality of triple gems. So this is the time of reflections, and we can either I think this day is so lucky that we have so many teaching that you can use some time of the day, to listen to the Dhamma Talk, and then sit meditate for a while, listen and slowly learning the Dhamma, and use this time of the isolation to be really benefit from this situation, because in the end you get you have to be alone. When you get born alone, you get old, you get sick, and you die. Basically you die alone anyway. So you might as well practicing it. Even you might be with somebody, but you're only facing the experience by yourself. So this is the time to recollect on that, and bring the urgency of practice into reality, that I have to do it. This is the thing that I always push forward. Wait until I old first, and I get into Dhamma. But you might not get old. This might be it. Many people not so old, they got infected, and they can lost their life quickly as that. So have to be very careful and put the priority in the urgent way. So that is the sutta that we chanting, and of course, when the Buddha chant this sutta, Vesali returned back to the normal, and since then it's prosper. Actually, it's one of the richest kingdom in the Buddha time. Even they have this very beautiful gardens, and all those princes and princesses are enjoying the treasures. And throughout the Buddha times, the Buddha visit there very often. He established the Bhikkhuni order in Vaisali, so it have to be very prosper and have a lot of support for the ordained, and its people probably very free. They have the probably the first feminist movement there, and the democracy, because they have this way of governing, not only one king, but they have a team of doing that. And the courtesans, Ampapali is very famous courtesan, are from this Vaisali, and she also offering her mango grove to make into monastery. So the Buddha go there often. And the last vasa before the Buddha entering Parinibbana, he spent the last vasa in Vaisali. And actually that means he have some connection and concern about that, because in the end of the times, King Ajatasattu want to invade Vaisali, and he sent Vasakarabhama to basically poke into what the Buddha say by gonna send the army to this Vaisali. And the Buddha basically giving a talk on the importance of harmony, Samakhi Sutta, and he would say as long as the people united, they will live in harmony, they meeting together, they taking the affair together, they not do anything, not make any more rules, conform with the old rules, not basically get into the greedy mind, or get the females in the families and take care of them, and all of these things is make the kingdom strong. And so because of that, King Ajatasattu not invade the Vaisali, and he changed the plan. Actually, he used this sutta. He said, okay, that's how I'm gonna work. I'm gonna destroy the harmony first. So actually, shortly after the Buddha passed away, they'll do exactly that. They send the Vasakala Brahman, and then teaching the prince, all the prince and been divided because this teacher, and then put them together, and then they not even have to send the army. They just go in and take over the Vaisali. So you can see that the Buddha probably know that he has this future. He can see the future. So when the last time when he walked out from Vaisali, we have this where he take a last look at this city, and he say how beautiful it is, and he probably know that it's not gonna last. This is the last moment where this prosper, and soon after he passed away, then the Vaisali are fall under the Makata and become part of the Makata since then. So you can see that Vaisali is almost together with the Buddha. Buddha is the first one who basically go there and then restore the healthy. It's very prosperous. Many people get enlightened there. Probably one of the many sutta are coming from Vaisali, and one of the very liberal people, democracy people. But in the end, after even the Buddha tried his best, try to say, if you don't want to be taken over, then you have to make sure that your harmony is very important for the democracy, is not to divide it, and then you go to your ruin. You have to unite it and help each other. But again, the Putushana, he doesn't listen to the Buddha, and they finally gone. So the point is the Vaisali is basically have a lot of things intertwined with the Buddha, a lot of this history, and it's a history of the Ratana Sutta, the treasure that is very important, and we up to this day we still capture that spirit of Vaisali, and hopefully that we not like Vaisali after the Buddha passed away, that basically fighting each other and not united against these external forces, external calamity, and we can somehow pull through with the harmony. So one way to have that is to practice, to bring the Dhamma into our heart, and to it's worse come to worse, then even we have to go ill, sick, and die, we can still die with the good death. Because if we have a triple gem as a refuge, then we go to the good destination. So whatever the result is, the way of reflecting upon the meaning of it and chanting it regularly, it will protect you. And if you follow the practice, then you yourself become part of the triple gem. And then if that's the case, then this might be your last life. Then they will be great, so you do the thing that have to be done. So when the illness comes, you say, yeah, I'm ready. So take me. I just do everything that I need to be done. So this is just the whole things about Ratana Sutta is to internalize it into the threefold training, the Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, and you will become part of that. Okay, so then I have some questions that I didn't answer last time, so maybe I just included in my talk here. There's questions about does one need to attain samadhi or jhana at least once before one can contemplate peace? So this is from last time. So it's about if we contemplate peace here mean nibbana, then maybe the question will be, would you need to have the jhana first before you get into nibbana? So that there's two kind of jhana, or the concentration. One is called lokiya jhana, and the second one is called lokuttara jhana. So you can see that in the Noble Eightfold Path, when the Buddha expand upon the meaning of the right concentration, it's all the definition of the jhana, which means that when you're entering the lokuttara, supramundane jhana, then you need the jhana to go into to take the nibbana as an object. But in terms of lokiya jhana, the worldly jhana, it depends. If you use the path of the samatha first, then you need the jhana. But if you just use the path of the pure vipassana, then you may not need the jhana. As far as you able to control the nivarana, the hindrances, is not overwhelm you, and you can contemplate impermanence, the suffering and not self. They call three characteristics, and you cultivate and you understand it good enough that you get basically disenchanted with this, and then you turn into nibbana. It's also possible. So there's a two way of practicing it. Either use the samatha leading vipassana, or vipassana leading samatha, or two together. The one with vipassana first, you may not need that samatha. You just go basically, but at the moment of going to nibbana, you need it. It's called a lokuttara jhana, because it's in one of the definition. But before that, it depends on your path of practice. Okay, and the questions about what are the causes and conditions for continuous mindfulness to arise. But I think if you can chant the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, they will give you the idea of how to maintain that. Basically, for the mindfulness to arise, there's a called a near cause. The cause that is near is the memory. Memorization is a key word. In Pali, it's called Tira Sanya. It means very strong memory. Very. So at first, I think you have to memorize the sutta first, either in Pali or in English. So this is an instruction. If you not memorize it, then how do you know that you are following the mindfulness that in the line of the Buddha or not? So when you memorize it, and then you know that, okay, now I'm whatever object of meditation, satipatthana that I use, either is kaya, vedana, citta, or dhamma. And then you have to try to keep your mind on that regularly. So first is to memorize it, the training, for memorize the teaching, and then when you practice, you memorize what kind of meditation object that is suitable for that particular situation, and then you keep your mind on that, and of course the mindfulness itself also the cause and condition for mindfulness. So the previous mindfulness, when you build, it's like a flow. When you're getting more and more, it's easier for the mindfulness to follow. So that's why your mind have to be bent on mindfulness. When you don't have anything to do, your mind is going toward mindfulness. Okay, what is a good object of meditation now? Say if you have some free time, some waiting for the lift or walking. Okay, now maybe this is the time for me to be mindfulness of my posture, maybe on my standing or my walking. So you have to be know a little bit what you're doing, and okay, this is a mindfulness on that. And then when you do it continuously, the mindfulness of the previous one will condition the mindfulness that come after and make it stronger. Okay, and then are we supposed to let go without trying to let go? Again, let go is basically it's almost like a result of like a disenchanted. You no longer enjoy that anymore. It's like when you are young, you are playing with this teddy bear. So you like it a lot. Every time you pick it up and hug it and then thinking this is your real friend. But when you get older, say you are disenchanted with that. You're not attached to that teddy bear anymore. I mean, you used to be. You understand how you get attached to it, but now you are grown up. The same way, when people are understanding the samsara, I mean, it has some kind of in the past when your mind is not immature, then you enjoy samsara because it gives some pressure. It's like you're loving hugging your teddy bear, but when you grow up, you're not inclined to hugging it anymore. But you understand, like, okay, why when I was young I was really lost into it. I really enjoy that, and even think that teddy bear is alive, and you can even talk to a teddy bear. But now, when you grow up, it's no longer attract you in the same way that you are when you are younger, when you are a child. The same way, I think you let go when you got enough of it. Basically, you've been there and done that, and that is limitation. It can give you that much. It can give you the kind of the happiness of that attachment, happiness of sensuality and all those things. But if you're looking for the long-lasting happiness, it can't give you that. You will set yourself up for disappointment. So you let go when you know that it doesn't give you what you want. You want the long-lasting, unchanged happiness, and it's only give you with the nibbana. So when you see something better, then you let go of the thing that is not. I mean, it's not up to that standard that you want. So more like you cultivate the thing that is true happiness, true source of happiness, and with that, the more happiness you derive from that, the less attachment of the lower form of happiness. So if you want to get over the happiness from sense pressure, you have to cultivate the pressure of renunciation, the happiness that coming from renunciation of the sila, samadhi, and panya. Then when you have that source of happiness, the happiness from sense pressure is no longer attractive because it's full of the danger and drawbacks and many things. So you have to, in order to let go one thing, you have to attach to certain thing first as kind of stepping stone before you can get into nibbana, which then you don't need anything. But before that, you need step by step. You let go of the lower form of happiness and going because you're able to get the higher form of happiness. Okay, and then the last question: does one have to wait for the object to arise before one can try to let go? Again, here, I mean, the first let go is like the first nirodha in even in Thai as well. The first nirodha or letting go, it has a sense of before you can letting go, you have to hold on to it first before you can let go. Right? I mean, it's just the way the word in itself is. You know, when you say letting go, that means you have to hold on to something, and now you're letting go. But the words of the word nirodha in Pali is mean deeper than that. You don't have to grasp onto anything. You can let go by not, you understand the whole thing. You know, it just then you don't have to grasp it first to be letting go. You letting go even by not even taking it in the first place, because you understand that this is not real you. This is not the thing that will bring you what you need. So the word of nirodha, it can also mean unborn, unattached. Basically, you not have to attach to it first and then letting go every time. so that is it's like you have a hot iron ball. You know, if you really know that it's hot, you will not grasp it in the first place. You know, it's not like if you know that it's hot and you still grasp it and you have to let go, and you have to let go because it's hot, then actually you probably don't know what the hot is. You know, if you know hot, you not really want to go near it. You just stay away from it. You're not attached to it at all. So I mean, the same way, because we're not seeing when the Buddha teach, you not see as it is. You know, the hindrances, you not see it as hindrances. You see as something that is allowing you want to something that will bring you pressure, but is actually it's obstruction. So unless you see that through this teaching, of course, in the beginning you might have to be force it a little bit. Maybe you train yourself to see in that way, maybe by reciting the sutta, seeing in the way reflections on that line. You know, this is impermanent, this is suffering, this is non-self, and you do it enough time for you to get disenchanted, and then once you understand it, then you don't have to keep grasping on that and analyze and investigate, because you already investigate it many times. You know that it's hot. You don't have to grasp it first before you know it's hot, because every time you grasp it, it's hot. Then you come to the conclusion that it's hot, even though you don't have to touch it. You know, so that is the way, and whatever you call it or not, you can call it letting go, or you can call it not grasping it in the beginning, but it's the whole meaning of nirodha. It means you don't want to have anything to do with it, because you know that it's really not bring you any happiness. It's just the cause of suffering. So this is the thing that is almost like a result out of letting go. It come out from contemplation again and again, seeing these three characteristics until it becomes until you know that this is what it is, and you don't have to go and then grasp on it every time. You can even letting go before you grasp on it. Okay, so that is the thing that you can try to practice. The teaching of the Buddha is to come and see, so not to suddenly believe, because it's better for you to take that as okay, this is what the Buddha recommend, or at least what I'm getting from reading from the sutta. Then you try to bring that to practice and see whether it's true or not. You know, only you can prove that. You know, whatever your questions is very important for you to take that as instruction. The only one who can answer your question is your own understanding. The rest is just the wording. It doesn't mean much, but to bring it into your practice and see whether it's true. You know, the Buddha always says, "Come and see." He always challenges us for proving it ourselves. So I hope that you spend the time of this again. I don't know in your country whether it's second or third wave, but whatever the time that you have to spend by yourself, then maybe you stay safe and use this time well, contemplate on the teaching of the Buddha, and hopefully that will bring you closer to the end of suffering. Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Damayang Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karang Dadamase. Sadhu, 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 anumodami. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for the teaching. Let us pay respect to Tan Ajahn again by bowing 3 times. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We invite Tan Ajahn to lead us in the closing homage, please.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhiwademi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅkhang Namami.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn. We'll see Tan Ajahn next Friday again.
Ajahn, can we, on behalf of NDL, to invite Ajahn to take us for a one-day retreat for this next month?
For when?
Next month.
Next month. Okay. Let's see which is a good day. Okay, so we can communicate later. The next one is Visakha, Visakha Puja.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what my schedule here, because I might have to do some leading meditations and chanting here in my monastery as well. So I have to check that first, run that with the senior, because I have just another meditation session, because but again, it's kind of depend. I think now they're forbidding any gathering above 20 people now, so it's become
How about weekend?
Yes, even on the weekend we stopped. We used to have the Abhidhamma class. Now we can't have it in the monastery. It's really depend on the situation, whether the COVID cases are getting more or less. So I'm not sure, but so far, yeah. Let's see how it's go. We have some small class, even though it's not. We just among ourselves. I'm learning Burma now, some Burmese language. So just to spend some time, we just go. So let's see how it's work. Okay, so we can just check the schedule later. Okay, so see you next week.